Previously on The Guardians of Fehal.
In our last episode, the party had settled back into Fehal, with Nora and Rowan preparing for their parents' visit the following day, and Una diving headfirst into her project to make Nora's special dress for when her family arrives, in time for her birthday. They found themselves, however, being a little distracted and summoned to the palace, where they met with 3 of the elders from Una's village, as well as her father, who were interested in their report of the events following the break into the school, where they actually ran into Lady Elaine Eris, who propositioned them to do another job, fighting some more monsters in the aqueducts that may have been summoned by Para. With them accepting the task and planning to get in touch with the master of the city aqueducts, the party left after Una spent a tiny bit of quality time catching up with her father and giving them all a bit of a tasty treat from her village that some reacted more positively to than others.
So, is it like 2 o'clock? 1 o'clock?
That meeting was probably an hour
Okay.
and a half. So yeah, it's like early afternoon still. You guys are escorted out
We
of
got
the
escorts?
keep. Hans and Frans,
This
Andrew.
is a weird palace.
The guards are escorting you out. Your eyes finally stop burning. They looked like escorts at first because your eyes were burning, but now you see they're just guards.
I've got my cayenne pepper goggles on.
Yeah, they also don't want your number.
They're like I'd give it to them.
Yeah, you head out of the palace. The rest of the day is yours. It's like 1:30 in the
Una's
afternoon.
gonna go back to work on Nora's dress. So she'll wave goodbye to you guys and head on out. So she'll see you later.
Hasta la vista.
Let's see. Did you have something you wanted to do, Andrew? Hans Frans,
Oh
Andrew?
yeah, I want to go see if I can get in contact with Rhiannon. I'll see if anybody wants to go with me. Does anyone want to? I'm going to go.
I'd love to go see Rhiannon.
Sure.
Unless there's something else to do, brother.
No.
You seemed like you were thinking about it for a little bit there.
Yeah, I was just thinking, but no. Seeing Rhiannon sounds nice.
Okay. Rowan?
That sounds like a great idea.
Okay. I don't know how I'm just supposed to go up and like ask the guards to see her again, right?
Yeah,
That's
you
what it
have
was, the paperwork,
paperwork
yes.
that makes it
Yes.
seem legit.
All
They'll
right.
still-
I will.
yeah, but they'll still see if she has,
Mhm.
she's in her class or whatever.
I would like to speak to the Lady Rhiannon, if at all possible.
They look at your papers and send a message.
Beside those my rolling papers, let me give you
see.
the official ones.
Rolling papers. Because I can't do it in roll 20. I'm gonna ask. Well, actually, I could. High or low?
Low.
Okay. Yeah, she's probably. They say she's getting out of a lecture, something, and that she'll meet you in her chambers or whatever. She'll see you guys there after she gets out of her class. It shouldn't be
Can
long.
somebody escort us there? I remember how to get there, but
Yes.
it's confusing.
Yeah. No, they were just checking to make sure you were okay with waiting, and they'll escort you there.
Yeah, I'll turn to these 3. You guys cool with that?
Yeah, sure.
Is when we get there, is her servant lady there?
Yeah, Sophia's probably in her room. It looks like she's actually doing reading, like, on the table. Like, she's not actively doing anything other than reading. And you guys, as the door, like, kind of opens, she, like, puts stuff, like, oh, hello.
Hello, Sophia.
Hello.
I didn't know Rhiannon was expecting you today. I would have
She wasn't.
had tea ready.
It's kind of a.
Oh, what would you like?
I mean, sure.
Yeah, I'd love some tea.
Do you want me to make it? Is it? Oh, just point it out. I can just boiling water.
No. I'll make it. It's kind of like
It's kind of my
I'm
job.
paid to do it, so, and other things. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll do it.
How are you doing?
Oh, busy. Rhiannon's been letting me read some more of her books, and I've been growing in my bardic magic.
Very nice. Very nice.
Can you show us anything of what you've learned so far?
You want it? Yeah, I'll do
Hypnotic
it.
pattern.
And she
She kills us. man.
no, she actually does like it's sort of like a performance of like she's reciting something. Like you could see that she had like seen a play and she's reciting lines, but she's able to kind of change her voice like a voice actor. Let's see how she does.
Oh.
Ooh, it's 10. She's a little bit you know, it's not as great as it could be, but she can do like voice mimicry really good. And she manages to do a sort of like a prestidigitation lights kind of cantripy sort of thing. And what other bard cantrips are there?
Very impressive.
Yeah, that was very nice.
So yeah, Sophia's like, oh, that wasn't as good. I probably need to see the performance again. I'm not the best at mimicking, but I'm
thought that was
trying.
pretty good.
You're still learning. You did just fine.
Yeah.
Better than any of us could do, probably.
Yeah, I mean, the first time my brother made a horseshoe, it wasn't very good. But I think your performance was better than his first horseshoe.
I was 5.
Well, that's not an excuse, brother.
My first time performing or practicing mimicking, but you know, it's okay. I will get better.
I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was
Thank
good.
you. Thank you. I'll never be. She kind of looks like she was thinking about something. She's like, that's nothing.
What? Do you want to do this for a living one day?
I used to want to be an actress and a storyteller, but and maybe I'll do that. But you know, working for nobles does pay pretty well. So, but I kind of planned on staying with, you know, Rhiannon for quite a while. She seems pretty happy, and like I like being her lady in waiting. So it's nice.
You know, there was a lot of people that come through the Merchants Guild. You probably should stop by sometime and, you know, see if you could.
You know what?
Meet some people like our friend Song.
Yeah, we've got a friend Song. He's top-notch mimicry, and I bet you if you tell him that you know us, he'll probably do you a solid. He's a really cool dude.
Did you say his name was Song?
Yeah,
Yeah, Song.
He's,
Boxwood.
he's a Kanku.
He's a bird person.
That's the truth. Yeah, he is a bird person.
Does he?
I don't know.
He's
Why do you know a Song Boxwood?
I don't know a Song Boxwood, but I knew a song.
he's got a crooked beak. No, he's got a
Yeah, it's kind of like a messed up beak on the
Can't
left
be.
side.
yeah, and he's got a limp.
Does the phrase "birds belong in the pan" mean anything to you?
You can kind of see her like accidentally, like she was pouring the hot water in the tea, and like it's just kind of completely overflowing out of the cup
Wait.
now on the table.
Are you from the south?
Originally, yeah, I grew up in an orphanage.
You know?
With-
Oh my God, our friend Song would probably love to see you. I mean, maybe.
Wait, wasn't he looking for someone from the orphanage?
Think so.
Like his no. Well, he said his sister.
Did he ever
Mm.
tell us her name?
No, no, he just said he was looking for somebody. He didn't say
Oh, okay.
sister. or
I thought he
anybody.
said
just-
sister.
Oh.
I mean, were you friends with Song?
Yes. My other kids didn't really like him, but I always loved. Song would listen to stories, and he could perfectly mimic
Yeah.
anything. We used to, when there were performers that would come through, he would always be able to do them perfectly again.
Well, I mean, I don't know how long he'll be in town, but he's in town right now.
Yeah, we just escorted him back from Rock Ridge or Queen's Gate or something like that.
Rock Ridge, what is this? Blazing Saddles?
Ramsgate.
Ramsgate, that's what it was.
Thank you, narrator.
Rocks.
But yeah, so if you want to go see him, you should probably go soon. I mean, if you want to leave Or if you want to wait for Lady Rhonda to get back and then leave, I mean, I think she'll be okay with us.
And
Do you ever have a day off?
I don't think she... Yes, I do. 1 minute, and she'll like leave and write like a little note for her and say she'll understand. I've talked about him before.
She's just boom gone.
Yeah, she's just gone. She grabs her cloak and just bounces. She actually forgot there's like water.
Yeah, as
like,
soon
kind
as
of,
like the
still
doors
dripping
close and
off.
she's gone, I'll be like, I'm sure she'll clean it up when she gets back. No.
No.
I'll sorry,
I'm just
I'll
gonna search
clean it
around
up.
for a towel and just like try to find something appropriate to mop up the extra water from.
I pull a shirt that I never wear and just like out of my
Just
bag.
mop it up. Just dab.
Yep. Does anybody want some
Do the
tea?
dab.
I think we'll make a new pot, yeah?
Well, it's still good. It just overflowed some of the water.
It's probably cold by now.
No, it's brother.
Things in the kettle, I'm sure, are fine still.
Yeah.
Okay. Brother, go ahead. Please pour the tea.
All right, I'll get us 3 teas.
Yep, you can do that.
Rowan, would you like
Water's still
some
hot.
tea?
No, that's okay.
Okay.
What kind of tea is it?
There's a mix. There's some that is more of like a floral tea. There's some that are more like citrusy, which Nora like never has because those are very exotic.
Sounds
and
like
expensive.
jasmine tea to me.
That's and then there's just some other like standard like Earl Grey
No, but what
kind,
is
black
Yeah, what
tea.
kind of tea is this that she was making for us?
The tea that she's the kind that she started making was like the general
General
black
Tso's?
tea with
Tea?
Ooh, it is spicy.
Oh, Lord.
Tastes
Why
like
does tea taste like
So it's just
chicken?
regular black tea.
it's just black tea, but
Okay.
there's also some cream. It looks like there's some cream there and some
Yeah.
Any honey?
yeah, there's honey there. I was like, she wouldn't have sugar. Sugar tea. I think
Sugar's
it'd be more of
for
honey.
poor people. We have honey here.
Nora's just gonna start adding in stuff to her tea quietly,
Yeah,
the way she likes to make it.
I'll put some honey in mine.
You just get a big glob and
Pretty much.
Pour
stir that
some
in.
honey
No, Josh,
on
when you
me.
said we should probably make a new pot because this one's probably cold, I was like, can't prestidigitation warm things up?
Yes.
So I was like, I need to look that up. I was like,
Yes,
yeah, I
it
could just
can.
perpetually keep your tea warm.
No, yeah, you just kind of Uncle Iroh it, just kind of.
Yeah, you just
You guys are probably waiting for like about 20 minutes after Sophia leaves,
Just
having your
sit
tea,
around the table.
chilling.
So, brother,
Yeah.
have you given any thought about what you're going to make for yourself?
Probably a helmet of some sort.
Pretty good idea.
Yeah, song says that helmets are good for business, or hats are good for business.
What the helmet's at
That's-
the head?
Well, it's a headpiece, and I mean, a helmet's more useful in our line of business anyway.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And it's something that I can use to,
Can you enchant
You know,
the
it's-
helmet?
I believe so, maybe.
What would you
probably.
enchant it with?
I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. Song's going to give me some special material in a couple of months, so I have some time to wait. But I could
Okay.
probably make something a little, more simple.
Yeah, I mean, do
Um,
like a little practice run.
Yeah,
It's a good
no.
idea.
Maybe one that I can turn on and it shines light forward. That might be, handy.
Yeah, I think in one of the towns that we stayed in for a bit, there was some people that did the mining in the caves that had those. It was very handy.
Yeah, except, yeah, very much so. Or kind of like, the goggles that you have, maybe enchanted so I can see in the dark better.
Yeah, that'd be pretty handy. I mean, it is handy. I enjoy it.
Because rather than the light, which tells everyone who I am, I want to be able to see where everyone else is and not necessarily call attention to myself.
Well, maybe if you make the
So-
helmet, because sometimes it's good to be like, "Hi, I'm over here. I'm not behind you, in front of you."
Yeah, I'm not sneaking around like a spider in the shadows.
Yeah,
of
exactly.
Whatever.
Yeah,
Nora, Rowan, did you
Yeah.
want to say anything? Or are you just observing all the
Yeah,
stuff
Rowan
in the room?
is just like perusing her bookshelf, just seeing what's all on there.
All right. Looks like she's kind of got like a bunch of like classical books, is what he would assume. Like there's some philosophy books. A lot of them are centered on leadership, and some other classics and stuff.
Are there any picture books?
Yes, actually, there is one where it looks like it has heraldic symbols on it and stuff like that. Where it's of the ones of the Iron Valley and the Wind Plains. Like there's 2 of them, so it's basically records of like heraldic books and stuff, so that you can see what family sigils are. So that would be a picture one. All right, are you doing the Iron Valley one, or are you doing the
Iron Valley.
All right,
Is this a globe?
on the map?
Yeah, right here.
It's the disc world.
Hang on. Yeah, that's a globe.
Okay, Nora's gonna go over to that because she hasn't explored much of the world.
Yeah, I'm
and
gonna
she's
go
very
over there
curious
too.
about it. So she's gonna be going through things and like studying the places of the world and being like, I remember some of my like plant books were talking about this place. This place has this in it, and she's gonna be like putting
Wait.
2 and 2 together.
No,
Where
that's-
are we?
That's very interesting. That's very cool. Well,
She's gonna search and trying to find where we are, I guess.
You guys can find there's basically equivalent of the world map or the continent map that I have made before, and there's some other land masses that you don't recognize and I haven't mapped out, but they're there.
They exist.
It's,
do we get any night?
Oh,
yeah,
any
you can
nice.
see that. One of them, is like the neighboring continent that is kind of like 2 archipelagos, I think is what they're called, where it's northern Taywin and southern Taywin, and it's kind of like a long, more narrow continent, and then there's like a bridge between the 2 of them, like a little bit of a channel, and then
Archipelagos will be like a series of
the
islands.
other one. Oh, not a
Peninsula?
that's what I'm looking for. Yes, peninsula. Yes.
Okay.
So,
I mean,
so Taywin.
technically every continent would be a peninsula then.
Mhm.
Well, no. No, a continent can have peninsulas because a peninsula is just a piece that juts out.
It's water on 3
Please no.
sides. Yeah.
Anyway, okay.
Anyway, so you guys, you can happily explore the globe.
So Rihanna comes in.
Rowan. Yeah, like Rowan, is there anything you're just specifically looking for? Or are you just looking at all
I'm
the
just
different heraldry
examining
symbols?
everything.
Just give me a
Percentile?
percentile roll. Mm-hmm.
That is an 83.
I see, like, there's a couple of the herald symbols that, like, there's ones where it looks like there's, like, ships on it. There's the Belmont one, which is clearly the eagle, and you can see there's, like, names associated with, like, the house or whoever the founder of it was, and, like, their symbols and how it's changed over times. And then there's a couple that look like there's one that has, like, a bear on it, there's one that actually has an elk on it, and then there's one that has, like, a horse on it.
Do they look familiar to what Hans and Frans has depicted on his disc thingy?
They don't have the Triskelion like theirs do, but they have iconography of their totems on it, in the sense of like a bear and a elk and a horse, and let me see if there's any other ones. There's one with a serpent on
Okay.
it too that you see.
What are some of the names for the bear, elk, and the bear, elk, horse, and snake?
The bear is the heart. It's instead of being like known as the noble house, they have a name difference where they're called a clan, and they are the Hartman clan,
Okay.
the Strom clan.
Strom.
Yeah.
STR umlaut M.
Mm-hmm. The one with the elk on it is the Hightower House Hightower. But it said they used to have another clan name. They had a clan name, but they abandoned it. So it's not in the book. And then the one that has the horse on it is Source.
Can you spell that?
Sounds familiar.
Sors.
And that's a clan.
Yep,
So the
that's a
serpent
clan
was
as well.
Strom.
The only one that has a
The
noble house indication is the elk one,
Storm
which is
was
Hightower.
the serpent.
Yep, and then Hartman is the bear one.
You just didn't give me the sigil for the Storm.
Yeah, that's the snake. The snake, or the serpent. Or is it the serpent? You don't know.
Okay, that's all.
And this is all in the Iron Valley area?
Yeah. There's other symbols too that you notice, like somebody has like ships, somebody has fish, somebody has like
Fish and
foxes,
chips?
somebody has a rooster.
Yes!
Yeah, fish and chips.
Get the tartar sauce, brother!
Anyway, yes, after a while, Rhiannon does come in and, greets you all, and said, "Oh, you guys have returned. I knew you were out on a mission. I hope you're all doing well."
Yeah, doing very well. How are you doing? Oh, but before I forget, Sophia had to leave because our friend Song is a friend of hers that she grew up with in the orphanage. And I don't think he's going to be staying for very long. And so she ran to go see if she could catch him. He's a kangaroo. She said
thank you.
that you would know.
Yes, she's mentioned her songbird
And-
before.
Her songbird.
Does that sound like a little more than friends the way she says it?
Probably more like a
No,
pet
like,
name.
It's
yeah,
not the
I
pet.
like an
It's
Term of endearment?
yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I believe that is what she always told me, that he didn't have a name when he came into the orphanage, so she gave him the name Song and called him her songbird. I believe they were very good childhood friends. It's fortunate that she's run into him again.
Yeah, hopefully she gets to see. Hopefully he hasn't left already.
Hopefully. But at least she knows there's a connection to you at the Merchants Guild, so she should be able to find him
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, hopefully. He said he was looking for somebody. And so then she was doing the performance.
Very interesting coincidence.
They actually did the performance where she was trying to do a play. And I was like, oh, my brother and I were like, oh, you should meet our friend Song. He's a mimic master. And then I was like, he's a kanku. And she was like, wait, what? And yeah. And then she got all, oh my gosh. And she left a note and she left.
It was very kind of her to leave a note. I probably would have worried otherwise. She doesn't normally just take off without asking about it first, so
Yeah, we said
I would say
we-
this definitely
we said it
deserved
was all like we didn't mind, we'd tell you what happened. Because she seemed very excited to see him again. Not that we have permission to like tell people who work for you what to do, but
It's if you're worried that I'm angry,
She
I'm
said,
not.
she said
it's
you'd
fine.
understand.
Mhm.
anyway, I just wanted to stop in and say, well, hi, we're back. But also, I got you something, and I'll hand her the gift.
All right. She'll take it and say, "What's this for?"
It's for you.
I mean, what's the occasion? Normally, you give gifts for a reason.
That's
She
true.
starts,
That's true.
opening it.
This was just something that. Well, open it and then I'll tell you.
Brother, why'd you get her a
So-
rock?
Wham! She hasn't opened it yet, dumbass.
No, I'm assuming I see that it's a rock.
Yeah,
It's more than just a rock. I paid a lot of money to get that motherfucker.
No, no.
ornate.
I know it's a sending stone, but Hans Frans is. Why'd you get her a rock?
But it's
He
not
paid
it's not just a
extra
rock.
money. It's not just a rock. Like it's like a
Yeah, it's like
Oh.
super
zephyr.
decorative. And,
Yeah,
Oh.
it's
oh,
fancy. It's a fancy rock.
Mhm.
oh, okay. You got her.
she opens it and sees it's a very fancy. She sees it as a very
Fancy rock.
fancy engraved stone, and is like, "Oh my gosh, this is so beautiful!
Yeah.
Oh, I love the
Hold on one
horse."
second, and I don't know how it works. I would have. That was one thing I forgot.
Rock out of the pocket. Hi.
You know that Nora and Rowan
Well,
have
you
a
had told
sending
me that they were
stone,
going to explain
and
to me how
could
it
have
worked
asked
when I
them.
had it made.
Yeah. You know how it works. You have to you have to just say a message, and it's 25 words or less, and it's once per day.
Yeah.
So
So I'll go over in the corner, like, ow, and then it'll get to hers.
it lights up, and she
I don't accept the
kind
charges.
of, she like realizes that it's like glowing, and let's see, is she smart enough to notice that this is
I would
a
imagine
singing
that
stone?
somebody of her status would.
Yeah, probably.
She probably
yeah,
had
would
one
probably
already.
use them.
Yeah, not a high deed.
Lord Eris tried to give her one.
She's like, oh, it's a sending stone.
Yeah, I figured this way, if you've got a free evening and you want to get away from, from the university, just let us know and we'll meet you.
She like kind of like holds it and is like looking at it very like happily, and kind of like squeezes it in her hand and says, "This means so much to me. Thank you all."
You're very welcome.
Yeah, good job, brother.
She starts like pulling off, like she has a necklace already that looks like it kind of has like another little something on it, like another piece,
bubble.
like a little something.
A bobble.
A little what? And she disconnects the chain for it and then adds that little bit on it, so it like, and then she puts it back on and like kind of like.
How big is the sending stone?
It's not that, he specifically got a
Oh,
small one,
okay.
so it's like that big.
Something
It's
that she
discreet.
could, it's something discreet that she could use as jewelry or whatever.
Except, when it lights up around her neck.
It's magic, bro.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Excuse me, ma'am, your
Just
titties are
lights-
glowing. We're trying to watch a movie here. You turn your titties
Sir,
down.
why is your crotch
You're supposed
glowing?
to turn your
Turn the brightness down a little bit.
yeah. You're supposed to turn your phone off
Yeah,
during the movie.
you can't just mute it. You have to turn it off. You're very welcome. It'll be nice to have a better way to get in touch with you. If there's something that one of us needs, we can contact you to see when you're free or whatever.
Well, this will certainly make it a lot easier to plan things, and now I don't always have to send Sophia to talk to you. But this is pretty short on word limits, so have to be pretty tight with what we say.
You kind of got to be like, hey, I'm free at 8, meet me here kind of thing. Not like, hey, do you guys have any plans tonight? But I just want to let you know that unless we're not in town, which we will keep you informed if we're leaving town, if we're in town, feel free to give us a shout. And if it's just something where you want to just get out of the hell or the university for a while, at least one of us will make the time to come hang out with you.
Well, are we going to
thank
keep your
you.
sending stone, brother?
I'll keep it.
Well, how will any of us know
I'll let you know.
she wants to hang out?
No, and Nora's just gonna like tap Hans Frans on the arm.
Fucking
She just turns into a bear.
an octopus.
The perfect time to go through with my plan, guy.
Ben.
You-
Oh, sorry.
well, she'll give you each a hug for the gift because she's happy about it. Since I saw you after the fight, and
I don't know if Sophia's mentioned it to you or not, but she really wants to do some acting. She seemed very nervous about it. Like, she wasn't going to tell us at first when we were talking to her about it. And then she was like, wow, I've always kind of wanted to do some acting. But she really enjoys, doing what she does with you. But I think it'd be nice if you could give her a little nudge to, like, maybe take a night off and go try out or something.
I know that theater companies, you tend to have to be pretty dedicated, but if she really wanted to, as much as I would miss her, I wouldn't stop her from pursuing her dream career.
I mean, maybe there's, like, an open mic night?
No. I should actually give her the night off. I believe there's some players that are coming into town from Breakspear soon, so she'll probably want to go see one of the
I
performances.
mean, players
there.
gonna play, yo.
Did the Vendaya do theater?
Yeah, somewhat. Mostly it's, big elaborate storytelling, but sometimes, the depending on who's in the village at the time, they might put on some little reenactments of, famous battles or famous scenes from our ballads and stuff like that. We've got some costumes that have gone down through the years from people who are very important to our village, and they might take, the shawl of, a former chieftain or something and reenact something famous that they did, whether it's battle, whether it's, a big speech, a famous party. That's kind of a big one sometimes,
A famous party.
Yeah, there was this one guy. There's one guy, his name was Kagante the Great. Everybody just called him Kag. And he once drank a whole barrel of mead to himself. And so now we call them Kags.
Kagante.
She laughed. How do you ask in the Bendaya language? Are you fucking with me right now?
Yeah, that's...
Or is that a real story?
There's a little context that you have to use to ask that question.
Yeah, you got to put a certain inflection on the fucking with, otherwise it comes out.
It's misunderstood.
Yeah.
Are you having intercourse with me?
One common phrase would be like, are you using, what's the bird? Are you using the nightingale to confuse me? Are you using the nightingale to mess with me? There we go. Telling a story to misdirect you.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I'm not. He was a famous, obviously not from our tribe because our tribe's new, but from one of the past tribes.
Yeah, usually the nightingale, whoever's appointed to that would
know the
would have the most skill in storytelling or singing or stuff like that, writing of poetry. And so, the followers of the nightingale are generally the ones that are doing these sort of recreations, memories of the tribes.
And so, sometimes there'll be a couple of people acting it out while, one of the higher up nightingale followers will give a big speech, a big telling of the story. How about where you from?
They're pretty similar plays to the ones that come through here. They are normally on a stage, limited scenery. However, I've noticed within Fehan, they have more magic, so it's easier to do some more fantastical productions. But normally there's people in costume on a stage and they have lines and monologues, but it's not really... There's some plays that are the older ones that have sort of a unifying narrator who tells the story and makes commentary, and they have a chorus that laments things or laughs at things. But the more modern style is to actually have just actors on a play sort of reading the lines and acting things out, probably similar to what Sophia showed you.
Ours sounded more closely to what yours is. And while we don't have the scenery, a lot of times as... we're traveling around because not everybody stays in the village all year. There are certain times of the year, certain times of the seasons where they'll put on a play, in a particular place, and that's the scenery, that's the backdrop of the story. So we don't make backdrops; we go to the backdrop.
Interesting. Normally, the month of Theron is the month of all the theatrical plays in the Myra Empire. So maybe once that season comes around, maybe we should all go to one together. Or I suppose we could go to one whenever there's just one in town if you're around, or if you're traveling in a few months.
Did you say that there was a show coming up here very soon?
Yes, there's a touring company that comes from Breakspear. They were just in Breakspear. They're doing a play. You'll see posters for it around sometimes. I think Sophia actually took one of them, and she'll go look around through her stuff and looking, and she's like, oh, here it is. And she'll pull it out and put it in front of you,
the
guys.
taming of the shrew. I've never heard of this one.
You can't tame a shrew, it's a rodent.
So this poster has kind of a it's basically parchment paper with some sort of like flat coloring on it, and the title of the play is called The Last Queen of Fehal, and it is a drawing of a woman with very long red hair that is holding her arms as if she's casting a spell, and she's wearing like it looks like an amulet, bracers, and a crown.
That's it?
All bearing sort of with a dress.
Okay.
And it looks like her jewelry that she's wearing actually looks like it has the Triskelion marks of your guys' tribes on it.
Odd
Give us
imagery.
What do you want?
What side of check?
History or religion?
All right.
All right,
Religion.
all right.
Oh, no.
13 for religion.
Only an 8 for me.
Womp womp.
Ow. All right, so we'll go with what Josh knows first. You know for certain that is the patterns of the Bendaya, but you're not sure the connections of it. Andrew, your character specifically remembers that there's something about the imagery that reminds you of the goddesses, and you're pretty sure that like they used to have like items or something that was associated with them, but you don't really remember specifically. It's been a long time since you remember those stories.
Reminds me of the Bendaya. The symbol here.
The red hair. Lizzie, how close is this to when Anguide has appeared in my dreams?
I mean, Anguide's hair looks like literal like manifestation of
fire.
So it's kind of like comparing something from like a very
fire to a
flat
strawberry.
sketch. Not so much in color. It's just like seeing Anguide in real life, and even like something that would look like a direct representation of her. It's not quite right because this looks like a mortal person, but then this is also like a mass-produced
it's a flyer,
sketch.
Yeah, it's a print.
Yeah, it's a flyer. But the iconography you definitely know is
when's
the
the play?
What are the dates?
Looks like it is playing starting on the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, and the 8th. So for 4 days it's playing.
I was just gonna say like that means nothing to me.
That's 5 days.
Yeah, you guys
then.
are on the 2nd.
Yeah.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
On the 4th, the 5th, the 6th. Oh yeah, you're right. That's 5 days.
And what day is it now?
Second.
So you have 2 days.
I mean,
Well, for the first performance.
I would love to go to this. It seems like it'd be something that my brother and I, if you would like to go, maybe we can give you some commentary on it as it relates to the Bendaya, for cultural stuff.
Learning.
Yeah.
Cultural education.
Yeah.
I see double date in the future.
Well, Nora actually turns to Rowan and is just like, she's going to actually more pull you aside and whisper to you on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think maybe Mama and Papa would want to go to that with us?
Probably. I think it'd be very fun.
It's just, I'm not used to asking for anything, but I think I'd really like that for my birthday.
Okay. We will make it happen.
We'll have to ask them, but
Yeah, I'll look over because I was like literally just gonna see if you guys wanted to go, and then so I'll like wait till you guys finish, and as you come back.
No, Ronan says, I'll go with you. I think it's more of it might be a story that I'm vaguely familiar with as someone who's read histories, but I would be very interested in seeing your interpretation of it if you think it is tied to the Bendaya.
Real quick. Didn't Song...
Yes.
When Song and I forget who were having a conversation on the way back from Breakspear,
Yeah,
they were
his
talking
traveling
about
buddy.
this play.
Godwin?
Yes. I don't remember what his name was. We'll worry about that later. Yes, because basically he said he got his boat because the Lord Evelyn had made it back late to Breakspear, and he missed the performance of the Last Queen of Fehal, and he was disappointed by it. So
That's
the fact
right.
that Song was able to perfectly record like like replicate everything with the voices and act it out. He was so impressed that I gave him this little
A
boat.
spare boat.
I've done it before.
But Rhiannon agrees
Yeah,
to
I
go with you
mean,
guys. So
Let us know what night works for you. Nora and Rowan, would you guys want to go? Maybe see if your parents want to go?
Yeah, actually, I was just talking to Rowan about that. We could ask, but I'm sure they'd love to go.
Yeah. I'll turn back to Rhiannon. Where do we go to pick up tickets?
I can arrange for that if you want. There's a couple people that I can have somebody go buy them for us if you know how many people want to go. Will Una want to go as well?
Quite probably,
Probably
yeah.
yes.
Probably.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I always vote personally, if it works in all of your schedules, that going opening night is always the best night because the energy is the highest.
Okay. I mean, if that
Sure.
works for you, then Nora, Rowan, your parents are coming tonight?
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night, okay. I mean,
Your parents are coming to
Yes.
visit?
Yes,
Oh, how wonderful!
yeah, we haven't actually seen you since we invited them, but yes, they're gonna be here tomorrow night. I'm not sure how long they'll be staying, but they are visiting for a while, so.
but that'll give them an
Oh,
evening
how
with you two,
wonderful.
a day with you two, and then that night we can all get together at the theater.
That sounds great.
What's the play company that's putting it on?
The Breakspear players.
The Ember Island Players. No, I'm just giving
It's
you.
a whole
I'm just giving you shivers. Yeah, I don't-
representation of the Venn diet.
Hans and Frans would never ask that because he has no idea what the fuck that is.
For your information as players, it is courtesy of the Tippin Theater Company, or actually it's the Tippin Theater Players, and then with the playwright, because it's on the poster, Ardwin of Vaughn.
Cool.
Sounds very pretentious. Double A.
So this is gonna be okay. You got your parents on a date. Just
So,
and does that mean
wh-
like everyone's
hold
going
on,
on
I'm
double
gonna-
dates?
so Rhiannon,
Mhm.
my brother and I did go to a small play one time in the small village we were staying in years ago. And I remember for the town, it was a fancy event. Is it the same here? Do I need to, get some nice clothes to wear?
Well, actually, that brings up a good point. Where do you want to sit? Do you want to be in the pit? Do you want to actually
There's a
have
pit. Is it like a
seats?
fighting pit in the play? Because if that's the case, then yeah, we should probably sit there.
Well, I would not. I've never personally. Well, no, actually, she probably would have snuck in, like in that ground level. It can get a little rough down there, but it is basically just benches and standing room in the pit area. Otherwise, you can have reserved seats up in the top. The pit area you don't actually get tickets for because it's kind of you just pay to
Well,
stand.
I mean,
Well, I think we should definitely get tickets so we can make sure we have good
yeah,
spots to be for actually viewing.
I think we should leave that up to you. We're kind of flush with cash, so just let us know what we owe you.
Well, do you want to go in style? Do you want to go with me as a lady because I can't have as much fun then, or do you want to go with me when it's more casual? That will also
Well,
depend.
I don't know if our parents have brought anything super fancy to wear either. So,
We'll get some seating in the merchants area. I should be able to get some good seats there.
Okay.
Just as long as there isn't anyone behind us, because that's caused problems in the past because of how tall I am.
my brother is quite tall.
We'll find something we'll make it work.
Well, here, use this to get all of our tickets, and I'll give her 2 platinum. Like looking at her, like, is this enough? I have no fucking idea.
She'll kind of like not. She's like, oh, this is more than enough. This will
Okay.
be perfect.
So how do we all need to go get fancy clothes or just like nice clothes?
Merchants, it can be hither or not. It's not super fancy. I'm gonna probably just wear like everyday clothing.
I kind of like
and,
look at her
but
dress
not-
and then
not-
look at my everyday clothes. Like, Oh,
Should I'll just go get some nicer non-guild clothes. Clothes we wouldn't wear on the job.
Yes, just
Yeah, no armor.
yes, basically no armor. You might want to wear a shirt, but I don't think you'd get kicked out for not wearing one. Especially if Rowan is there also not wearing clothes.
Do I
I
need
wear a shirt
clothes?
No, I
Okay,
don't think
because
so.
I don't think I've ever worn clothes, and I don't know how it would work.
You wear your hat.
oh man, how would that work? Because you could be. Oh, I never thought about the intricacy that he could wear his hat and be 6 foot tall instead of 7 foot tall, and then somebody can see through where his head
Actually
You
is.
can totally do that.
Oh,
Yep, you could do that.
shit.
There you go.
And it looks like he's wearing clothes.
Yeah, I would say don't wear what you did rescuing me off of the road.
I
Maybe
looked down at
wear
like
something-
exactly what I was wearing that day.
Yes.
Yep.
So
Yes.
we should probably all just go get some new clothing.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I mean, my good shit's soaking up water
It's in the
right now,
wash.
so that's fine.
Yes, I was gonna ask you. You actually, are you okay? Your eyes look a little bit red, and like, are you getting ill?
Now, I think Una was trying to kill me. I'm not really sure. And I take this. I open the pouch and I use my already soaked shirt and I pull out the squid. And I'm like, she gave this to me, and I thought it was burnt.
You didn't give it back.
No, I told her I was
I
keeping
didn't
it.
want it.
I told her I was keeping it. And I think she was supposed to melt
Oh,
a
I think-
hole through my face. It was so hot. And then I was touching it, and then I touched my eyes. And it was like, I can't even describe the pain. It was.
I mean, I've never
it was-
heard him shout out like that before.
I'm not
Even
gonna
when
lie,
he
it
gets
was more
shot
of a
with an
scream.
arrow.
It was like a little kid. It hurt so bad. It was like, do you ever eat spicy food?
She takes a bit of it and like eats it. Let's see.
Oh boy.
Like
She just
she
fine.
goes for him like,
She says,
no,
"This
no,
is
no,
really
no.
spicy."
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh, that does have a kick. It's not as bad as the peppers I got tricked into eating my first year at the university, though.
Things come hotter than this.
Believe you had, well, actually, would it have been hotter than the peppers you had in the market? For the festival? It would have been close to that. Maybe this is a little bit stronger because of all the
Okay.
salt in it.
It's cutting
Salt does
cutting-
make spicy
cutting
stuff
up my
worse.
tongue with the salt and then letting the spice directly
Mhm.
into it.
Directly into your bloodstream.
Yeah, she's like, it's spicy. I don't mind spicy food.
I like
in
those peppers.
moderation.
And somebody from the caravan made a really good spicy soup. But this, I'm gonna try and make like a stew with it to see if that will disperse the heat out.
I was just seeing high chance. All of a sudden, like after a minute, she's like hiccups a bit. Like, yep, that's normally what happens with too spicy of food.
I do have a question. Is my cloak gonna be too much?
No, I've seen many a merchant wear things like
Okay.
that, or
I
equivalent
just kind of don't take it off.
for different purposes. But you should be okay with the
Well, I mean,
clothes.
I take it off obviously because I bathe and I wash it and stuff, but I don't like to leave it off. So anything new happen over the past couple of weeks while we were gone, or since we saw you last?
No, the riots basically quelled down after that first night. There's a lot of people angry about that.
Does she not have any friends?
There's a level of tension when you're a noble being friends with anybody who's another noble, because you never know exactly why they're friends with you.
That makes sense.
Sometimes it's more murky than that, but also sometimes there's people that it's difficult to punish because it will make others turn against you. So Elaine does have a tendency to keep people a little bit distant. I
I
mean,
guess it should be only as murky as you let it get. If you go in and mix up the water, if you're standing in the water, the milk will eventually settle, and then you have clear waters that you can see through. But if you go in there and try to, catch every single fish, you're going to keep stirring up the muck on the bottom and it's going to stay murky. You can't do it that way.
Sometimes it's not you walking into the water and making it murky. Sometimes it's just being in the murky water and trying to find the surface before you run out of air. And you can kind of see she gets a little bit cold when she says that.
And like Hans Frans is trying not to be like insensitive because he understands that this is something that she has to deal with. But he's trying to like get across that like like
she does have friends. She just doesn't see them too often.
I'm sorry, didn't mean to upset you. It's just it's hard to deal with so many people that are dishonest. As a people, we're very honest. And that's not to say that everybody's always honest about everything. There were times when I was a kid, but we would steal cookies or something from somebody. And no, we didn't take them, even though we've got a little bit of cookie on the face. But, and sometimes it's worse than that. But it's good to be able to trust those around you. It makes me sad for this noble culture, air quotes, that it seems so many people are not noble.
Definitely agree with that.
Noble in status, but not in practice.
Yes, very much so. It sounds like you have some pretty intricate political theories. Maybe you'll have to share those when we eventually do language lessons.
Yeah, for sure.
She kind of like gives you like a look like, we did agree to do those.
We should maybe set up. It sounds like we'll be in town for at least a little while. We should try and set something up like a couple days over the next, week or two. And I'll leave that up to you, Lizzie, how you want to schedule.
Yeah. She'll say that she's free this evening, like after dinner time, or if you wanted to come over dinner time, same tomorrow. And that she could potentially do a little short lesson, like on the morning of the 4th for a little bit, for an hour or two. But yeah.
I'll say tonight dinner sounds good. Tomorrow night, I don't know. Well, I'll ask Nora and Rowan, like, did you want us all to have dinner with you and your folks tomorrow night, or did you want it to be like a private affair?
I'm sure they wouldn't mind if you were around, but if you have other plans, that's okay too.
I would love to meet your parents. So I think tonight, Rhiannon, if that works, and then we can do the morning after the morning of the play.
That works for me. Do you want to stay here, or did you want to go somewhere else?
I say tonight, since it's getting close to dinner, if we want to stay here, it's fine. But I think I keep wanting to say Wednesday morning for some reason. I don't know why.
There's a strong sense it's Monday.
Yeah,
strong sense.
Yeah, on the morning of the 4th, it might be good to get out and walk about a bit, because then I can kind of show you how my culture interacts with certain things.
Works for me. I always enjoy, sometimes it's more fun to go out and experience things than just sit inside all day. So she'll agree to the times with you. Is there anything Sam and Rowan, is there anything you wanted to talk with her about while you're here, or no?
Yes. Nora would just kind of chime in.
I do know that I know Una's not here, but we were hoping that maybe after my parents, either once they leave or maybe on an off day, if they wanted to just spend some time in town, just the two of them or with Rowan, we were wondering if maybe we could have just a girls' tea, just us ladies.
Yes, I've wanted to do a tea party for quite a while with you two. Do you want to do sometime on the 5th or the 6th?
Yeah, I don't think Una has plans, but I better check with her first. But we can definitely let you know sometime before then. If not at the play.
Mm-hmm. On the 5th, I actually will have your bag of holding done, Hans and Frans.
Oh, wonderful. Have you... Wait, did we discuss what she actually wanted? I don't think we did.
Nope.
Have you decided what what I will make for the trade?
Maybe some sort of shield armor that will activate.
Yeah, I could. I have a couple of warding spells that I can do.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on what you're looking for. If you're looking just for, protection against like things like the nightmare, magical creatures and stuff like that, I can do that.
Yes, that is what I.
Or if you
yes.
want something specifically against, blades and arrows, I can do that too. But I can't do both.
I'll think about that and let you know by time the bag is finished.
Okay.
I'm hoping I'm not going to encounter any more fiends on the road, but
Better to have it and not need it, and then need it and not have it.
Yeah, but that's kind of what she wants.
Okay.
And you guys can stay and chat longer if you want, or you can go about your business for the day.
Probably go about the business.
What business do you have?
At some point, Hans Frans would want to talk to Nora real quick. Just find a time when it's just the two of them. And now I'm not very good at this sort of conversation, so bear with me just a second.
You've got this, Josh.
Hans and Franz's lowest stat is charisma, and it makes sense. It's good. You got this, babe.
Well, the good thing too is that Nora's highest stat is wisdom, so she can probably see it through all of that bad charisma anyway.
We're both super wise, so it's like
we're good.
Hey Nora, I heard that your parents are coming, to town here, and I wanted to do, like what we had talked about. Before they showed up, sooner rather than later, I guess, being able to spend time together that's not like, job related, and asked around, and I thought maybe the zoo would be nice, because I haven't been there. I missed that day when Una took you there. But also, I've always wanted to kind of see what sort of clothing could be made out of that special Fey material, the flying sheep things.
Yeah.
Would you like to do that? I guess tomorrow.
That sounds like a lot of fun. And just you and me?
Yeah. Just the two of us.
Well, it comes at great timing too, because we need to get new clothing for the performance too. So
that's true.
Maybe we'll find something there while we're out and about. But it sounds like fun to me. I only went to the zoo the one time, and I don't think we even got to see everything. We just kind of like wandered around a little bit with Una when we first got here. So
yeah, I kind of asked some questions about the zoo, and they have like some, performances with some of the animals. There's even like smaller animals that you can interact with, and so I don't know what you did, but that kind of sounds fun to me. So.
That sounds like fun. We didn't do any of that stuff. So
yeah, that I'd like to spend a day with you if you're interested.
Sure. That sounds like fun. Maybe
okay.
We can go after breakfast?
Yeah, that sounds good to me. I don't know how much time the zoo takes, but hey, the more time, the better.
Sure. Sounds like fun to me. Let's plan on it then.
Okay. Good. And that's all Hans Frans has to do for the rest of the day.
And that's all I gotta say about that.
Now he's just going to be wandering around in anxiety-ridden coma.
So, I muted myself because I didn't want to ruin the moment, but I messaged Aaron as that was going on because I saw him eating it. And I'm like, "Are you eating popcorn right now?" He's eating animal crackers.
It's perfect. It's for the zoo.
Yeah, like the whole time
Wait,
Hans Frans is
You
talking.
can eat the
is-
animals at the zoo?
Totally.
The whole time that Hans Frans is talking to Nora and whatnot, he's actually avoiding eye contact. He's like looking to the side and up and whatnot, and not, and just kind of like fumbling, more fumbling with his hands, or he's kind of holding his hands in front of him, just kind of like, so they don't just kind of like move around. He's just
trying to control his body movement so he's not awkward.
Right. Well, but he's very awkward anyway. It's just, he's trying not to like make his, let his hands move or like, look like he's like praying or anything. So he's got him like in front of him.
Nora has absolutely no clue. She didn't notice anything. I rolled a 4.
What?
Oh, how nice! Sorry.
So Nora's just like
Queen of
probably walking
insight.
along and totally.
Oh wait, do you not have proficiency in insight?
No,
Oh,
I do not. So
Yeah, druids don't usually unless they take some sort of special with their background. Anyway, so Rowan and Hans and Frans, were you doing anything after you finished talking to Rhiannon? I know you're having eventually some sort of dinner thing with her, but are you gonna just stay
That's pretty
or are you
early.
gonna
I'd probably
leave and
leave and
come back? Mm-hmm.
Go home and shower.
So you
Put
don't
on
smell like
some Catch
squid
Me, Fuck
and
Me,
sweat anymore.
body
what?
spray.
You put on your Axe body
Indeed.
spray.
Yeah, we don't have to.
Or
we
whatever
don't
the
go
fuck-
into it this point.
Yeah.
yeah, I can imagine we're probably like all just doing our own thing or going to bed at this point.
Yep, Una, you successfully make pretty good progress with them making the dress. You've got most of it cut and like fitted to where you think it'll work, and like they're finishing up the seams and stuff. And tomorrow, like there will be more of like you'll be the dyeing part, and then any of the final detailing
Did
stuff.
I give her
so
all of the wooden flowers already?
Not yet. You've
Not
given
yet,
me
okay.
what you had, but you only
Not
had
yet.
16 done.
actually, Una, give me a because you're gonna technically be probably working more than 8 hours to finish
Oh, yeah.
this. So give me a Constitution save.
No, there's no way. Not even with 4.
Okay, you're gonna have a level
That's
of
fine.
exhaustion, but you know.
I'll take 2 levels if I can get this thing done in time. I'll be
Look, Megan,
Me
Una
poor
does not have to
parents
be you in real life. Stop
Dude, I
making
got like
levels of
4
exhaustion.
points of exhaustion.
communicate with each other. Or Eric.
Couple.
So
Yeah.
is the zoo date on the 3rd?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
it is
after
before their
breakfast,
parents show
okay.
up. Basically between breakfast and lunch when parents are not here.
Yeah. Breakfast through early afternoon.
Through whenever.
Rowan would find Hans and Frans, and since he's working on the dress too, just sort of as a reminder, don't let her. Sorry. Whatever you guys have planned for today, make sure you don't let Nora buy anything. No clothes.
Well, I kind of wanted to go look at some Fae clothes.
Okay.
Because, really awesome colors and stuff. But I was thinking maybe, just a shawl.
That would be okay.
Like,
Just don't let her buy anything fancy.
I don't think she would
nice.
buy a dress.
Right.
I mean, I'm going to see if I can get like a shirt or a tunic or something. But, I'm going to try to encourage her to at least get the shawl.
I think that would be okay. I think that would probably go nice with a dress. I've seen it happen.
Since when are you the fashion god?
I see things.
It's a trait.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
Fae have excellent fashion sense.
It's built in.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I caught you before you left.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for the reminder.
Have fun at the zoo.
Oh yes, I look forward to it. I haven't been there before.
It's very fun.
Good. Okay, breakfast. Well, you ready, Nora?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. We're off to see the zoo.
Do the zoo.
The wonderful zoo of Fehal. Of note, Hans Frans is not decked out in armor. He doesn't have his sword or his shield. He's just got his bee tabard, the tabard with the bee on it, and just like a simple like gray tunic underneath the tabard with his kilt.
I think at this point too, kind of like trying to relax a bit, Nora would probably not be wearing her usual like leather vest and like boots and everything. She'd probably be more of like flats, her regular skirt and shirt that she usually wears, but she would probably accent it with like a belt or something instead and go a little bit more casual.
Okay, you can definitely do that. So it's a fairly busy day, but it's not a holiday, so it's not super busy. But the mornings are usually a lot more of the busy time. So it's sometimes you have to wait a tiny bit to see some of the exhibits. But they have some new ones that weren't there when you were there last time, Nora. They have the displacer beast that you saw before. But this time they actually have they are the cats that you saw that were in Lady Elaine's offices, and you can see the name of what they are underneath. Because there's little plaques that say what they are. And these are Silvertis Seath cats, which you can read the little description of them. They are a crossbreed between the Wind Plains Highland cats and the displacer beasts, where they are bred to be loyal guardians and bond with one humanoid creature and gain a sense of where their master is, even when they are miles and miles apart. They have basically, it's some sort of weird psychic connection bond.
Okay.
So these very loyal guard
cats.
Nora would probably notice that and just kind of nudge Hans and Frans a little bit.
These are the same cats Lady Elaine had.
Why would she put her cats in the zoo?
I don't think it's the same cats. But it's the same type of cat.
And she'll drag him over to the description and read it to him. So she has two of them. Do you think they're both hers? Do we know if one of them is Lady Seamus or not? Or have we
You didn't know that.
Okay.
You never asked, and I don't think you would have like.
It says here that they can associate with one humanoid creature.
So I suppose
maybe a person can have, multiple bonded pets.
Maybe. I want a bonded pet. That sounds really nice. I wonder if there's any others that are not as big. I don't...
How big are these cats, honey?
They're medium-sized creatures.
Yeah, they're bigger.
So like big as a mastiff?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are pretty big cats.
Big cat.
I've always kind of wanted a pet. Or at least more of like a companion of sorts, like an animal companion. Kind of like what Una and Spree will have. It always just seemed really nice. But I mean, I guess I kind of had it easy with being in the near forests and stuff all the time because there were so many animals to make friends with regardless. But they were, none of them lived at home with me, and we didn't really have anything of the nature of pets, I suppose.
Yeah, we didn't really have pets in the tribe either. Like, the animals were their own individuals, and if they stayed around, it was their choice, but there was not really a pet like you said, the companion
Ownership.
more. Yeah, we didn't own any animals. It was aside from the herds, like
Yeah, or
that
like
sort of thing.
we do have like a lot of fey creatures who like assist us in our homes or who partner with some of our elders and whatnot. Like my papa has his is it a fey deer? That's what we decided it was. He has his fey deer, but it's less of a pet and more like a bond, a partnership, kind of like these, sort of, in a way.
Sure.
So,
Gotcha. Well, how do you usually go about bonding with an animal companion? Do you know?
I've never done it myself. I didn't even really experience Papa doing it either. It was more of something that I'm pretty sure that was even before, like, I really couldn't, like, when I was really, really little, I wasn't really around for that.
Sure.
The ones that I had, like the little animal friends that I ended up making over time, they were, not bonded or anything. They were just there in the forest and stuff. And most of the time it was them helping me figure out how to transform into other animals and stuff. I would study them. So.
Do you think you could turn into one of these?
Oh, I don't know. That looks a little difficult.
Well, do you usually have to interact with them rather than you just see them and then you can turn into them?
Necessarily, but I mean, I've never really interacted with these before, and I don't know how difficult it would be. So I'd probably have to at least think about it a little bit more than like one that I've practiced.
Got you. Okay. Moving on.
You have
to
the map
next
of the
exhibit.
zoo? You said you had a map. I want to see the map.
I don't have a map. I have a list of what all the exhibits
That's
are.
fair.
Show me the map.
Mind map.
I should have made one in Incarnate.
It's okay.
It was an oversight. Forgive me. All right, so there are some pseudo dragons, which you saw when you were here with Una as well. There are fey deer, and which look very similar to your family.
Are they as big as Papa's?
Not quite as big. These ones actually look like, the zoo looks like it kind of takes wounded animals and like nurses them back to health and stuff. So like these are more of like the scrawny ones that are on the healing side. So yes. But they're not as big as Corin.
Nora will point them out.
That's like what my papa has.
Oh, okay.
So the fey deer, it's kind of like think of the deer in Princess Mononoke where they have like the antlers, like the red deer, but bigger, and their coat kind of has like unique, what you would consider like unnatural colors.
Like
it's
iridescent, isn't it? Kind of like that.
Yeah, it's iridescent-y looking.
Gotcha.
Yeah, like an iridescent-y kind of like reddish brown color. Kind of almost like not quite as splendid as like when the nightingale has like that reddish brown feathers that were like very like iridescent and stuff. Not quite as grand and glowing, but it does radiate sort of a more of a color shifting sort of element. So yeah, they look at you with their big eyes, and unlike regular deer where they have brown eyes, these ones have like really deep, like kind of dark blue eyes, like more of a sheen, like the night sky.
Okay.
Where like the moon is silhouetting it and making it glow a little bit so you can see it's blue.
Yeah.
But it's not. Yeah. And they're kind of like eating grass and then like looking at people and then going back to eating grass and just kind of like, occasionally getting alert and then chilling. And there are some little flying fey squirrels, like the small miniature versions of what you guys have in your forest village at home.
Now, what about that? Can you turn into one
Those are
of those?
fun.
Technically, could I? Because they don't technically fly. They glide.
I would say, okay, so normally, because there's rules about you can only change into beasts,
Right.
I would say, like, because it's a beast and a fae, it's probably more of a fae. However, because this isn't that high of a CR creature, I would totally let you turn into it because it's from your village. So yeah, you could turn into that like right now. It's not that high of a CR.
I have turned into that before. They're really fun to actually play with. Kind of reminded me a little bit of Song's little friend.
Manfred.
Yeah, kind of
Okay.
like Manfred, but they're very active. They love to play, almost to the point of wearing you out. It's kind of exhausting.
Yeah, they look to be running and jumping and flying, and I don't think it stops.
They have a lot of energy, but they are fun and they're very cute, very small.
Yeah, it's so interesting that you can turn into these creatures. It's like you experience a whole different world.
Nora's gonna actually go ahead and turn into one of them. Just
A flying
Yeah.
squirrel? Yeah. Are you like are you turning into him and then just kind of on the ground, or are you perched on something, or
I'll
gonna sit on
probably
his
be
shoulder?
I'll probably sit on his shoulder for a sec. Just to
Yeah.
let him get a closer look at
I
what
mean-
one would look like.
I mean, it's a whole new. I'd probably put my hand up so you can get on the back of my
Yeah.
hand so I can look, you know.
She's like perching, like doing that like sit where they're kind of like prairie dog, like up.
You know,
So cute.
it's a very different perspective with you being so small and fluffy.
She'll like scurry back down and turn back into her regular self and everything after a minute, but she'll just kind of like shake everything off and brush her hair a little bit after it's been like a little bit ratty. Like she'll just comb through it with her fingers.
No, it's very, very weird being that small. It is.
I could imagine.
Yeah, because
But
everything.
you were very cute.
Well, thanks.
And she just kind of like gets this like really happy like grin on her face.
No, everything just looks really, really big. Like things that you would think are big are gigantic.
Yeah.
Even rocks are big at that point. But it's just odd seeing everything from a whole different perspective, and it especially being so low to the ground. So
Well,
you have to be
also, like,
careful
when
if
you were
people
that
step on you.
horse, when you were that horse, like, it's totally different. Everything is so small compared to you.
everything's small and you can go a lot faster, so you end up missing a lot of details because you're just running and running
Yeah.
and running. So
But you got a lot more power and strength in that form, too.
kind of like when I'm a bear too. I'm a lot stronger as a bear. And that was one of I think the first time I've ever actually turned into that successfully, which was kind of scary, I guess, to be honest. No, being a bear was actually kind of scary. I have to be completely honest.
What was scary about it?
Well, I've never been that strong before. And it was almost one of those, like, not realizing how strong you were. Like, when I hit at Lou, I didn't really mean to hurt him that much. But it was
Oh.
kind of like I didn't know my own strength. And just something in me felt like almost angry. I don't know how else to describe it. It wasn't even really angry. It was just forceful.
Sure.
And I'm just not used to that. And I don't like that. It's not nice. It makes me feel cruel, kind of. And although necessary in the moment, it didn't make me feel good afterward. So
Hans and Frans, not necessarily being good at reassurance, he's going to try to compliment Nora. I mean, from my perspective, you are very, important in that confrontation. I don't know. I mean, you helped basically keep, a very important part of the conflict, in our favor. I don't think we could have necessarily done it without you as that bear. And I was very impressed with how strong you were. I mean, it's kind of amazing that you can, be something so strong and powerful, and then suddenly you could be something so small and so cute. Like it's.
A smile creeps back onto her face when you're saying all of this.
Well, thanks. I guess what just really matters is, in the end, it was important to you all, and to keeping you all safe.
Very much so, yes.
Since,
or like when we were, saving those Kenku children from the dogmen, and you caused vines to sprout from the ground, and you grabbed almost all of them. I couldn't do anything. Even without your animal forms, you're, very powerful in other ways. So, I don't think you should necessarily discount how important you are to, us, and the value that you have as a person.
Thank you. That means a lot, and I'm less scared if I have to turn into something like that again. I suppose in reality it wasn't too bad. It did make me feel kind of good in the moment, I suppose, and if I can just kind of get past some of this, the after feeling of, I guess, understanding that sometimes doing actual damage can be good and work out for the better, even though it might hurt in the moment. I think you're right in that I did the best I could, so.
And that's really all that any of us are trying to do, best we can. And if you want, I wouldn't mind maybe practicing with you, like if you want to turn into a bear or a wolf or anything, and maybe try to get used to it. I could be there and help you out with it.
That would help, especially with the stronger animals, because I'm not quite used to that yet. Una's been helping me a lot with like things in the water, but I'm not quite used to the I've been a wolf, but I've never really attacked as a wolf, I suppose.
Right,
so
fighting something that's kind of a little different, yeah.
Yeah, so that might help. We can always try that.
Okay, yeah. And he'll kind of keep walking and looking for the next exhibit. You're muted.
You're muted, Lizzie.
You guys run into some more cute exhibits. There's a green hound, Nora, which you've seen in your village. These ones are friendly. They're basically a wolf that has grass-like fur.
Oh.
And they're friendly to humans. It's rumored that like the green man in your village runs with these. Along with his other animal companions that he has. There's a Pegasus there that is kind of, just chilling out.
That's
majestic
cool.
looking.
Now that's a horse that I haven't seen before.
Has Nora ever seen one? Like, was this here last time?
Pegasus? There wasn't a Pegasus here last time.
I've never seen this before either. I don't even
No.
remember it in a book.
Well, I mean, I've seen the horse that follows
Mm-hmm.
Maru, and I mean, she was a bit bigger than this thing, but wings, that's amazing. And let's see here. What's the sort of like? Is it a window? Is it bars? What's the?
It's like a magic force field, sort of.
Okay.
That's enclosing the container.
Hans Frans is gonna try to get as close to the barrier as possible. Like if there's a crowd, just kind of snaking his way, and if there is a crowd, trying to help Nora through the crowd so she doesn't get separated. Here, come here, and he'll grab her hand and walk through the crowd. And once they get up front, he's going to hopefully get the Pegasus attention, and in Celestial, speak. From where do you hail, great horse with wings?
The horse turns and looks at you and says, "It has been a long time since anyone has spoken to me in the tongue of the heavens. Well met, human. I am from far... Where would he be from? I am from south of here, in the lands formerly known as... what's it called? I flew amongst the mountains near, the place of the great earth goddess's waterfall, is what he would say.
And he'll kind of relay some of that to Nora.
Nora speaks Celestial.
Oh, does she?
Nora understands everything that you say.
Oh, that's right. But she's never expressed or identified. But Hans Frans will still be like, yeah, he's been here apparently for a long time. Used to fly in the mountains of the Earth Goddess, and he'll say to the Pegasus, "Great horse, what is the name of the Earth Goddess? Do you know?"
Hang on a minute, I gotta look it up.
You give me little hints of things.
I know.
You're planting the seeds for yourself, Lizzie, and you cannot grow them.
Where does this woven string lead?
He says, from Moru, the Great Mother.
Or
And Hans Frans will just like look down. Yes. You understood that?
Yes, I speak Celestial as well. I've just never had the chance to actually speak it outside of my village, I suppose.
Oh.
And she's gonna go ahead and ask the Pegasus,
how is it that you ended up here?
I was wounded many, many years ago by a creature of darkness, and my wings have always been weakened, and I have roamed for a long time, and some people have taken me in, and I am now under their care and just rest here. One day I will leave when I am recovered, but it takes a long time to heal a being like myself.
What happened to the creature of darkness?
I don't know. It might still roam the area that I first encountered it.
Do you know where that is?
It is near the mountains of, along the Great Mare River that runs through the, I think he would call them the Goddess's Mountains.
Great winged horse. I am one of the children of Maru, that come from those mountains. I have met the horse. The horse. Do you know her?
I do. I am one of her children of sorts. Josh is like...
No,
this
that's
just like
Hans
led
and,
to like a whole nother thing.
this is Hans and
So, like,
Franz. I'm acting as Hans and Franz here.
Just shock.
My brother has, my brother is bonded to one of your brethren. His name is Sureblood. He is one of the children of the horse as well. This is incredible.
I do not have a sibling I know of named Sureblood, but that sounds like a name that a human would give, not one of our own names in Celestial.
Yes, yes, he did. My brother did do that. Would you
It is no offense meant. Our names are very hard to
Would
say.
you give us your name?
Hang on. Where is the random table? Let's see if there's
You
any-
didn't give him a name!
I want you to know, I wrote a Pegasus, and then you started talking to a Celestial. I'm like,
We literally did all the meme stuff regarding D&D players ruining a DM's time.
it is not.
This is important stuff. Oh, this date turned out way more interesting than I thought it would, Sam.
Way more interesting.
Cossaint is basically the equivalent of what you can get it to.
Cossaint.
That is it is closest to the human word of how you would say it, which Hans and Franz recognize this from their village means protection. So always use protection.
Always.
Thank you, Cossaint. Were you a guardian of the mountains of Maru?
I was one of many, and my other siblings still roam and fly.
Other siblings? There are more among the mountains?
There are hundreds of horses similar to me and descended from, thousands and thousands of spirits sired from my great ancestor, the horse.
Wow.
Perhaps we should
So
bring.
now just all celestial horses know each other. I
Yeah,
guess.
apparently.
I just made this canon. I made this canon.
Nora will just touch Hans and Franz's arm and just pat it quick.
We should tell your brother to come visit. Maybe.
Yeah. Thank you for speaking to me, Great Horse. I have much to think about, and I perhaps will be back to speak with you more.
It nods and says, "You may come, child of Moru. You and your what would he say? You and your angelic tongue companion, because she's speaking celestial."
Yeah, that angel tongue. No, Aaron, why?
Oh. Nora giggles a little bit and then will back away out of the crowd to leave for a while and wait for Hans and Franz.
Oh yeah, he'll follow. I think he means that your voice sounds nice.
I think he was talking about the fact that I could speak Celestial.
Probably, but I still think your voice sounds nice.
She will blush a little bit and continue walking.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
well, that first date was a little bit more unexpected than usual, or was it a date? Who can say? Find out next time on the Guardians of Fehal.